Hey guys, thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Dr. Jeff Brown, with your co-host, Dr. Jeff Cole. I am very excited for the two guests that we have with us today, Charla and Keith Bartozzi, the CEO and co-founder of Intuscope. Intuscope is a company that's bringing a new airway device for first responders to the market. Keith and Charla, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'd like to immediately go into your description of the product, Keith or Charla.
Intuscope is an intuitive intubation device, is what I like to call it. But it is different than your standard laryngoscope that's been around since the 1940s, in that instead of using your strength, and it is a direct visualization device, instead of using your strength to pull up to visualize the vocal cords, you actually have a mechanical advantage. So it's similar in the fact that it has a blade and a handle, but it also has two levers, and it has what I call a hard palate support piece, that it basically uses leverage against the roof of the mouth or the hard palate to open the airway so you can visualize the trachea and do an orotracheal intubation.
Interesting.
And I think when you talk about need, I mean, a lot of intubations can be tricky, especially in the field. What further thoughts do you have on that?
Yeah, a couple of things on that. One thing is the anatomy of the patient plays a big role in how difficult an intubation is. There's other factors, especially in the pre-hospital setting, which obviously having my background as a fireman, the pre-hospital setting is where this was born. And that's where I saw a need because of the difficulty of an intubation when someone is on the ground versus an operating table. They're on a medical scene, maybe on the side of the road. But there's just a lot of factors that go into it.
Intuscope was actually born from a failed intubation attempt. It was one of those difficult in the field intubations, and it was a tough one, and he wasn't able to get it done, and he couldn't let it go. And he said there's got to be a better way, and it just he couldn't let it go, and so that's how Intuscope came to be.
I think I had not, until that patient had not failed an intubation. And had done a bunch of them. So at the time, I'm 6'3", early on in my career, 230 pounds, pretty strong, worked out all the time. Takes a lot of strength to take that blade and pull that tongue up out of the way to see that trachea. And I just couldn't do it. I tried 3 times and failed. We ended up losing that patient. And so I went back to the fire station, and I just, one thing, it was my first failure. And I didn't like that at all, especially with him being so young. And I was just, I kept thinking there's got to be some better way than that. And that's when I came up with the idea of using the hard palate to basically use as a mechanical advantage point to push against and open the airway. So now you sweep the tongue and you squeeze a trigger. You squeeze a lever, and these two operating arms spread that thing apart, and you can see the trachea right there. And it doesn't take near as much pressure as you would think. You just squeeze it until you see it. And it actually has another advantage, which it actually protects the teeth because of the way the hard palate support has been positioned. So once you activate it and squeeze the trigger, you can actually rock back a little bit and look around the area and locate that trachea and those vocal cords, which is something you can't do with the old technology, because you might damage the teeth of the gums. So,
well, would this be a new technology? Do you have patents in place, or what?
We do have a utility patent. This is the first time we've done anything like this, done a startup or had a product like this. And so we applied for a patent very early on in the process. I mean, I basically had just drawings on a piece of paper that I took to the patent office, and we started that process very early on. We actually got our utility patent March of 2020. So, and we have a European patent that's applied for that we are
And Canadian.
And we're hoping that they see everything exactly like the U.S. Patent Office did, which is, you know, I understand that's the case a lot of times. So we're hopeful that we're going to get those as well. So
that's excellent. With those patents in place, do you have any sales projections?
When you look at innovations, and there's 16.5 million innovations a year in the United States. 3 million of those are failed first attempts. So 3 million times a year in the United States, pre-hospital and hospital, they're failing that first attempt. And so we feel like our low-hanging fruit for our go-to-market strategy is going to be a unscheduled pre-hospital innovation, which in that field, you're looking at 88,000 ambulances, 150,000 fire trucks, 40,000 military vehicles. And that's going to be our target audience for this product when we go to market.
Phase one. Yep.
That's going to be phase one. Of course, we're going after the hospitals and the surgery centers and the, you know, you got minor meds that are required to have a crash cart with an innovation device on them. I mean, we're going after all that market, but our projections are once we get to revenue stage, which we're hoping early 24, that we're going to be there. We're talking about a $25 to $30 million market in 5 years revenue for Intuscope in the first 5 years. That's, like I said, that's not taking into account any hospitals or anything else. That's all pre-hospital market.
And that's U.S. market.
U.S. only.
Correct.
We've got a lot of people that I run into in the fire service and just a lot of different places that are going, when can I get my hands on it? When can I get my hands on it?
Which brings up a great next question. What do you see as availability even in a test market situation? Or
well, we are in the final design phase right now. Of course, you know, anytime you've got a new product, you always have little tweaks to do on the design. And we are really close to the design freeze. We hope to be finished with that and moving on through some testing. And we hope early 24, we're going to be in the phase of our company where we're doing marketing, distribution, and sales channels. So early 24 is what our goal is.
Are you aware of any competitors or anybody else with something similar?
Of course, you've got the 1940s technology, which, you know, it's on one end of the spectrum. You've got video scopes on the total other end. And then we're in the middle somewhere with, as far as, you know, the video scopes are not a direct visualization. The 1940s technology is. And so we really don't have any competition. Once we hit the market, we feel like we're just going to take over the direct visualization market. There's not going to be any need to purchase anything else. And we've got a price point that we feel like is going to be very reasonable, because we're going to be somewhere, we're going to be more expensive than that 1940s technology, but we're going to be way less than the video scopes.
Who's helping you? What's your executive team look like?
So we've got local investors. We've got a gentleman by the name of Robert Longfield that's on our board of directors. We have a management team, as well as Sage Medical, Sage
Business Advisors.
Sage Business Advisors they have an investment side and a management side. They're also our management team, but they're investors. So
And then we have Merge Medical Device Studio, who is not associated with you in any way, but they are doing our engineering and prototyping.
yeah.
So Keith, to summarize, this sounds like a product invented by a fireman for firemen and other first responders. It's a device it sounds like to me, is somewhat in between the oldest technology used to intubate and the newest technology, which are the video scopes. And in doing this, bringing this product to market, you've eliminated some of the disadvantages of the older technology, such as positioning, and eliminated some of the disadvantages of the newer technology, such as foreign matter in the airway. And with that, I'm Dr. Jeff Brown with Merge Medical Podcasts, your co-host, Dr. Jeff Cole, and Keith and Charla Bartozzi of Intuscope. Thanks for joining us.